So I wanted to give you a quick glimpse into sort of what Vlogmas has looked like for me, and that has included me sitting on my bed doing voiceovers randomly in the morning or the night, depending on how much editing I've been able to do that day or how busy I've been. So this is me just doing any last minute edits to the vlog. I think this is day 13, 14, but yeah, all of them are linked down below if you haven't seen the previous days' vlogmases.
One hour later.
I know, I think that's a thing, but anyway. Okay. I'm aware that this room is a mess. I will get to it. But we are getting ready to go to Little School again for a Christmas event. And because I still feel really pretty and I don't look great either, I'm going to put some makeup on just to make myself feel a bit more alive. Oh, there. The skincare. The part work is good for my skin. I actually look pretty good in colour today, whereas the last few days I've looked really rough. I'm not gonna lie, I've looked really rough. As I was saying, I am just doing a little bit of makeup today, just the basics, but that's better than nothing. So I'm going to put my contour on first because I'd like a little bit more. As I said, colour's good, but I'd like some depth to my face. I need to leave here in like the next hour or so. So I haven't had as much time as I would like today, but that's fine. Doing things for little one is slightly more important than anything else at this point. I know certain family members would probably disagree, but they can fuck off. In my opinion, they're not here, they're never here. So, and then I don't know. It's funny because the Thomson side isn't that large. In the sense of extended family. But I still don't know a small percentage. So it's kind of amusing. And I've never had like birthday cards or Christmas cards off really anyone but my grandparents and my uncles. And then on my mum's side of the family, we only know them in the last few years, so. And even then, to be honest, we don't have the greatest relationship, I mean, well, ever. Due to reasons, so it's out of my control. And that's useful. And it comes with a compact, cool. So yeah, it's really only me, my dad, and my mom anyway. And then my granddad's remarried, but I don't really see them that often, so I don't really listen to what those three have to say in that sense. My uncles, my younger uncle, yes, I have a younger uncle. He is, my younger uncle is 6 years younger than me. He definitely takes an interest in my life. It's very sweet. And he likes to do uncle-y things in the sense of like asking how my daily life's going, work and things like that going, and then so yeah, he likes to ask a lot of like the uncle questions, whereas my older uncle, who is my dad, who's 18 months younger than my dad, really has never shown that much interest in me ever, which is fine. That's his prerogative. I think it is amusing though when he sees my younger uncle being that sort of person, and he kind of takes a mild interest then. It's funny when Dad gives him a look of like, what the hell are you suddenly being uncle-y for? Because, you know, that's just never been my uncle. And there was a time I would have held that against him, because, you know, it's hard when you're the odd one out at school. Particularly when everyone in your area seems to know your family, so like, of course, that makes it worse. But I have learned to be okay and to just realise that's my uncle and he doesn't mean anything by it. And also, like, with my grandmother, he is the youngest, so he is the baby boy. And so I think, to some degree, it's a bit like, oh, there's someone else now younger than me, I'm not sure about this sort of aspect to it. He doesn't always know how to be the grown-up in the room, which I also get. No, don't get me wrong, I have moments where I kind of look around the room and I'm like, oh, I'm the adult. So I do get it. Like, I've learned to not take it personally when it comes to my uncle. It's just who he is as a person. And honestly, me and my dad spend most of our time just kind of being like, yeah, Greg, cool. Not because, like, we don't love him or anything, just because that's just us. Like, if you're not gonna bother with us, we won't bother with you, sort of style thing. So, yeah, their opinion doesn't really stick to me that much, and the few occasions where it may affect me, I've got to a point where I just kind of, I tell everyone to leave me alone, and I'm not taking opinions right this minute, which is also an interesting point to be at in life, because I kind of always thought I would want to know what my grandparents thought, and I'd want to include them, because it was hard when growing up my dad sort of got to a point where he stopped inviting them to things, because he just felt it was better that way for whatever reason. I don't know if there was an argument of some kind or what. I just know we got to a point where my dad kind of said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not inviting them anymore. I'm not letting my kid be let down or anything, and I think that was kind of, he felt, because they weren't coming, or they weren't interested in coming, I was feeling let down, and I guess in a way I was a little bit, but I had the people that meant the most to me, so, and the ones that have always kind of proven they're gonna turn up no matter what, so I've always had that, like, in my life. I've never really thought about, oh, you know, I don't have anyone supportive because my grandparents aren't around, or my uncle isn't interested in my life. I've never thought like that. I know there will be people who do, and they probably have less community. But I got really lucky that the people my parents made friends with became wonderful aunts and uncles. So growing up, we weren't alone, if that makes sense. Because I think that would have made a huge difference if we got isolated to just the three of us. I think that would have made a huge difference for me. Because I think my dad definitely would have 100% felt very isolated. So the fact that we weren't was wonderful. We have amazing, well, we still do, have amazing family friends in that way. And I've always found it easier to befriend people who are older than me than I did people my age. In saying that, I also got on really well with kids younger than me. And I think it's my ability to tell, like, full random stories. Like, I don't know what it is. My brain just supplies me with, like, a full story. And so I rant it off. I used to do that with my younger uncle all the time. It was one of his requests that I do. And then my dad can tell stories with, like, all the voices. It's amazing. And growing up, it was great. He gave his youngest brother, my younger uncle, a nosebleed once from excitement, which was kind of funny. So basically, my dad said, "Hey, when you're ready for bed, because I wasn't feeling very well, I'll come read you a story. I'll come read you a chapter of Harry Potter." And I was like, "Great, thanks." And so my uncle was like, "Hey," because he's only a few years younger than me, as I said, "What do you mean you're going to read her a story?" And this was a time where he had a bedtime story every night. And so my dad kind of said, "Oh, I read to Gabby still when she's sick." And he was like, "Oh, but, like, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Yeah, because he tells the best stories." And my mom and dad were still together at this point. And my mom says, "Well, he does all the voices, so Gabby prefers him reading bedtime stories to her when she's sick than me, because it's more exciting for her." And so Jack asked for a voice, and so Dad gave it him. And it was very funny because he was all like, "Oh, can you do my story tonight?" And Dad was like, "Sure, if that's okay with everybody." My grandma was like, "Yeah, sure, gives me a night off." So read stories and stuff. And they came down, they went up, and I could hear Jack giggling. I could hear my uncle giggling, and I thought it was very cute. And then they came down maybe 10 minutes after that, and Jack's like holding his nose. And I was like, "My bad." And in the end, I think his mom took him up for bed because she was like, "Yeah, probably should leave the bedtime stories to someone less exciting." I would say someone more boring, but, you know, what do I know? And yeah, my dad is just my dad, and their other relationships, and I don't even know why I went into this, but yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, that's it, yeah, that they'd probably say that little ones' events aren't as important, because they didn't deem mine important to come to. So whereas my dad did. My dad saw everything I did in school, whether it was big or small, as like a huge thing. And so I carry that over to little one so that he does know he's important and things that are happening in his school are important and someone's going to turn up and be there for him. Which leads me to, it's 11:30 and I have an hour, so I need to eat and hopefully get yesterday's video up because I couldn't get it to export. It annoyed me. So 18 minutes doing makeup and rambling about family dynamics that you probably didn't want to know and probably weren't even making this video, but we'll see.
A few inches later.
I am putting some shoes on. I'm riding out the door. Oh, Daddy reversed my car into the drive for me. That's nice. I put my hair up. Well, I say put my hair up. I put my hair up. My hair in a half down situation. I need to figure out food. But we'll do it on the way. Okay, see you soon.
Several song-filled hours later.
Okay, so let's chat while I reheat my pizza in the oven. I'm having Papa John's pizza reheated. My hair is cooked up. Very rarely do I do any form of half up, half down situation. 1 second. I do feel significantly better than I did the other day. I still feel cruddy though, not gonna lie. I definitely still don't feel 1000% at all. And that's okay too. Like, it is perfectly normal when you don't feel good to have good days and bad. Hang on, I can't feel it. There we go. So I'm not at all surprised. My hair is so doing its own thing, but I just wanted to get this top layer out of the way. As you can tell, I am definitely still ganged up. I am going to actually take some more cold medicine and some painkillers for my chest as well, and go from there. It's been a weird few days, and everything feels like it's happening in threes. But today's Chris Tingle, whatever, was actually not too bad, and Little one did really good. He normally, when he sees us at school events, he's all, oh, sister, or mummy, just because he has a real issue with abandonment and being an attachment sort of problem. This is something we've been working on for a while now, and we're officially starting to see the actual benefits to it. Today he was like, hey, I want to stay with my teacher for the first 15 minutes, and well, like 5-10 minutes, which was great. And then even then, when he came and got me and wanted me to stand up with him, he still played majoritively with his teacher. It was just like, oh, my sister's still that good. Like, it was a checking thing. And then when he wanted to go back to his classroom, he was like, bye, I'm going now. And he went with his teacher, and that was wonderful, because there was a period of time where I would have had to physically walk him back with his teacher, which is devastating, because you want to trust the people you're leaving your kids with, but it was also upsetting for them knowing, and him, like, because then I would have to either be like, no baby, I'm staying here, and watch him be upset as he went with them, and them have to know that they were resettling him, or having to then sneak off later, which is hard too. So yeah, hopefully we're working towards being able to be like, okay, I'm done here now, I'll see you at pickup time or whatever, and him not be upset, which is the goal. But we will see what happens and how that happens, and if it happens at all. He got Speedies, which he will always love. And that's kind of the update. I obviously took him home, got stuck at mom's house for a little bit because of 2 hours-ish, just because of how things worked. And then there was an issue with the bathroom door, so we had to fix that. Dad had to come out and help, and it was just this whole thing. But for now, all seems good, so we can hope for the best, I guess, on that front. The only thing is, I keep forgetting it, is getting the radiator key to bleed the radiators. I keep meaning to do that, and I keep effing forgetting, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is, whatever. So yeah, I'm just relaxing. I do need to change, and as I said, I need to take the meds, so let's do that, and hopefully pizza will be near ready when we've done everything. So here is me doing my skincare. I have been making myself a rather greasy mess in the evenings in particular, just because between the cold and my eczema, the skin around my nose has started to peel. So, you know, just one of those things, and I want to keep my skin from flaring up as much as possible, because when you have eczema, you do have to do a kind of maintenance. I do more maintenance in the winter than I do in summer, and that's me laughing at my TV while I cough. And I'm trying a lot of serums from my beauty calendar, actually, so these are a lot of products from the calendar that you will have seen me opening during the intro.
The next morning.
So, I'm in the vlog yesterday. I'm really sorry. It's just this cold one. I was completely fine to being on my backside, and I just don't know what happened. So I'm gonna end this vlog here. I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas. We're so close to the end. It actually makes me a little sad. And I'll see you all in today's video, vlog, whatever.